I welcome you all to this video, and today in this video we are going to discuss about the last value window function. In the previous video we discussed about first value window function. Now we are going to talk about last value window function. So I will simply click here on new query and it will open the new query window for us. And we are in fact going to use the same table that we used in the last video to understand about the first value function. So let's run a simple select statement on that table to see the data that we have. So we may write select star from employee salaries. Control E. This is the data that we have. Also, anyways, I'll be providing the create table code in the resource section. So you can download that piece of code from there, and you can, if you do not have this table created, so you can create the table and insert the records using that code, and then you can follow along with me. So anyways, we have this particular table and we need to understand about the last value window function. So we have employee ID, employee name, salary of the employee, and department. Now, the way we discussed in the first value function, let's say here for this window function, that is last value window function, the requirement given to you is that to this output that you can see as of now on the screen, you need to add one more column. And in that column, the name of that particular employee should be shown or represented who is having the lowest salary. So, all right. So, first of all, we may write select star from employee salaries. Then just before the from keyword, press enter twice, come to line number 5, comma, last value, bracket open, bracket close. Now, since in the new column that is going to be created, we want the name of the employee name to be shown, basically, right, with the lowest salary, but we want employee name to be shown. So inside the last value function, we will write employee name. And now we will have to use the over clause. So bracket open, bracket close. And inside the over clause, we will have to order by salary in the descending order. So we need to order by the salary in the descending order to get the employee with the lowest salary, because the output will actually be sorted in the descending order by the salary column. And then if you will consider the last value, so that will basically, it's understood that it will give you the lowest salary, right? And then the corresponding employee name will be shown. That's why we have written salary descending. And let's provide an alias name to this new column that is going to be created. So let's write employee or EMP with lowest salary. Sorry, spelling. If we will now execute this piece of code written from line 4 to 6, so you can see that it doesn't show the correct output. If we will talk about the first record, so the employee name is Heidi and the employee with, we should correct the spelling. All right, let's execute it again. So you can see that the name of the employee that is written in the employee name column and the name of the employee that is written in the employee with lowest salary column is same for each record. Why we do not want this? We want that the name of that employee should be present who is having the lowest salary. That is, Alice's name should be present in the employee with lowest salary column for each record. But that is not happening here. So if you will have a look at the first record, so employee name is Heidi, and then the employee with lowest salary is also Heidi. Then Grace, here also Grace. Then in employee name column, Ivan's name is written. In employee with lowest salary also Ivan's name is written. So there is something wrong with this piece of code. So we will have to correct it. So first of all, let's write here at the top, let's write incorrect query. And then let's try to correct this. So I will copy this piece of code, paste it in line 10. First of all, change this incorrect to correct, Control R. And then just after this descending keyword, DESC keyword in the over clause, we will mention rows between unbounded, preceding, and unbounded following. If we will now execute this piece of code written from line 10 to 13, it is going to give us the correct output. So why is it so? So basically, when we executed the incorrect query, first try to execute the incorrect query. If we will execute the incorrect query, so you will see that when the first record was considered, so the name of that employee was only present. So that employee's name is now present in the employee with lowest salary column. When it came to record 2, so it had the 2 records available. So it looked only at 2 records. So among these 2 records, Grace is having the lowest salary. That's when record number 2, Grace's name is written. Then when it came to record number 3, so it saw that these are the 3 records available. And the lowest salary is for Ivan itself. So Ivan's name is written for record 3. Then for the 4th record, it had these 4 records available. So Eve's name is there because Eve is having the minimum salary up to 4th record. So only these 4 records were considered, and that's why Eve's name is being shown. So in order so that all the records will be considered while deciding the value that will be obtained as a result of the last value window function, we had to mention this particular part in the over clause, that rows have to be between unbounded preceding and unbounded following, so that all the records will be considered by finding out the value of this window function, right? Each time the data is looked for each record. So that's why we made this change, and it now is giving us the correct output. Now let's say we do not want employee name to be only employee name to be represented in the new column, but let's say we want to add a new column that will represent the salary of the employee with the lowest salary as well. So we can simply copy this piece of code and we will paste it here in line 16. And I will copy this code again that is written in line number 18. We will copy this and come to line 19, paste it. And now we want to represent the lowest salary as well. So I will remove this. I will change the alias name. I'll change it to lowest salary. And now here inside the last value function, instead of employee name, we will mention the name of salary column, or we will simply write salary. So the lowest salary is 50,000. That should ideally be represented. Let's see that if we have written the correct piece of code. So I'll execute it, and you will see that 50,000 is being represented as the lowest salary in the newly added column, and it was created using the last value window function. Now, as of now, we saw that the minimum salary is being represented, or the name of the employee with minimum salary is being represented. But now we want the same task to be performed department-wise. That is, we want department-wise the name of the employee with minimum salary should be represented, and department-wise the lowest salary should be represented. So we will simply copy this piece of code and we will come to line number 22. This is also the correct query. So let's copy this. Let's paste it here. And here now, in this case, we will use a partition by clause. So just inside the over clause, I will mention partition by maybe we can come to the next line as well. So I'll press enter. And after partition by, we may write partition by department. Similarly, here as well, after the over clause in line 26, I will press enter. Now in line 27, just inside the over clause, you will have to mention partition by department. And if we will now execute the piece of code written from line 22 to 28, so you can see department-wise, the names of those employees are being represented who are having the lowest salary. Along with that, their lowest salary value is also being represented. So if we'll talk about finance, so in finance department, the lowest salary is how much? 72,000. That's why 72,000 is being represented here. And the name of the employee is Frank, so that is being represented here. Similarly, for HR department, Alice is the employee with the lowest salary, that is being represented in employee with lowest salary column. And in the lowest salary column, the value that is 50,000 is being represented. And same is the case with IT department as well. The corresponding employee name with minimum salary and corresponding minimum salary value is being shown. Now let's say we do not want to represent the minimum values of these salaries, but this time we want to represent the maximum values of these salaries, and the employee name also with the maximum salary should be represented. So again, we can copy this piece of code written from line 22 to 28. We will come to line 30. Paste it here, Control V. Now simply in place of salary descending, you may write salary ascending, or you may simply not write anything. So after the salary, you can remove this descending keyword, or maybe you can write ascending, doesn't matter. And just select this piece of code. No, but before that, we should change the alias names as well. So we can write employee with highest salary. And here we may write the highest salary. Let's copy this piece of code written from line 30th to 36th and execute it. So you can see that for each department, the name of the employee with highest salary along with the highest salary value is being represented. So if we will talk about the finance department, so in the finance department, you can see that Eve is having the highest salary and the value is equal to 80,000. So Eve's name is being represented along with the highest salary value. Similarly, for HR department, Bob is having the highest salary, which is equal to 60,000. And similarly, for IT department, the highest salary is of 80 and it is equal to 95,000. So that is being represented. So this is how last value window function can be used. And yes, there is one more thing that I just wanted to tell you. So despite using last value function, you can always go for first value function. And let's say if for first value function, you want to know about the employee with the highest salary, right? So what you will do, you will sort the salary in the ascending order, but you can sort the salary column in the descending order in case of first value function, and that is also going to produce the same output. So let's see how it works, right? So Control R, if I will copy this piece of code and if I'll paste it here so here we will be using first value. So in brackets, I'm writing for your reference, first value window function. And then here I'm writing in the brackets, last value window function. Now, since I want this first value window function to give me the same output as that of the last value window function. So first of all, I will replace this last value by first value. So we may write in place of last, we may simply write first. And then here as well in place of last, we may write first value window function. And no need to mention this rows between unbounded preceding and all. So we can remove this part as well. And then we can remove this part as well from here. Fine. Now, since we have used the first value function, so after the salary, you will have to mention descending. Ascending was mentioned in case of last value. So here you will have to mention descending. So DESC. And here as well in place of ASC, you will have to mention DESC. If I will now execute these two codes together, that is written from line 30th to 44th, you will see that both of them are going to produce the same output. So you can have a look at this. So these are the two outputs. Both of them are having 9 records. So finance, Eve 80,000, finance, Eve 80,000, HR, Bob 60,000, HR, Bob 60,000. Then we have IT. Further reduce the size. Yes, for IT, Haiti 95,000, IT, Haiti 95,000. So using the first value window function is also always an alternative, so you can go for that as well. But I hope you got an understanding and idea about the last value and first value window function. We'll meet in the next session. We'll discuss about other important topics and concepts. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.